What's up, y'all? You kicking it with the Junkyard Dog on junkyarddogs.com. My name is Tony, for those of you who don't know, so check it out. We are back on Project Mayhem. Last week you saw me struggling with the bracket. Let's continue to struggle with the bracket. So I got so many comments. Thank you guys for commenting and to help out with the project. I've been going at this for a long time, but it's just like I said, a dream I always wanted to do, and I just didn't really know how I was gonna go about it, and I don't got like the fancy CAD stuff or whatever. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to take a trip to Ace Hardware and change out those regular bolts for socket head bolts because I'm kind of don't have a lot of space and they're pinching up against each other, so it's causing a problem. So I just kind of want to eliminate that. Second issue, trying to figure out how to get that plate straight. You know, I talked about that too, so we're going to try and tackle that today. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to clamp this down a certain distance away. I want it resting against this plate here, but I want it a certain distance away from, I'm gonna use the shock tower mount. Hopefully that'll give me something to reference. So right now I'm just clamping it down, but then I'm gonna measure it and then see what I come up with, because I really, somebody else was saying, actually, you know what, it was a really smart suggestion. It was to take it off the crank, because the whole motor could be that way. So me taking it off the frame might not even be a good thing. So let me change this up. I just thought about that just now. So many good comments and suggestions which tell me that, you know, there's some good guys out there that just don't want to see you fail for the sake of the internet, you know. Alright, that's flat right there. Okay, that's flat against the crank. I wish I had a way to kind of clamp this to the crank, but this is it right here, coming straight up. So I need something that's kind of gonna give me some sort of gauge. So here's my contraption of a measurement tool. You know, I build transmissions and I build motors as far as the short block. All this is like new ground for me, so bear with me. I didn't do so great in school at math, but whatever. Anyway, so I took this square here and I clamped it to this bracket, this aluminum bracket, assuming that the bracket's straight and that it was cut pretty straight on the end here. I kind of lined it up. And then when I press it against the crank, and this flatness right there, I can kind of sweep across the crank. And this side is okay, But when you sweep over to this side, it clearly goes way, way off by about 300 thousandths. So boom, I was absolutely, my eyes were not lying to me. It was absolutely. And I'll show you guys what I mean right now. Hold on. This is me just sliding back and forth on the face of the crank. And it's like almost immediately from the time it's touching, it's already crooked. And then it starts coming out and bam. Can you see that? That gap? See that gap in there? And then when it comes back this way, boom, we're back touching again. So this side needs to come forward. I tried to make this side go back, but believe it or not, it was worse before. So boom and boom. Yeah, it's about 230 thou is what I got at the widest point. It's crooked as hell. Okay, so now that I've established at least that I know for sure it's not my eyes playing tricks on me, let's take this off and use the same method to try to make this bracket straight and then see where it lands us. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off and see if we can figure out what we can do to make it straight, man. Like this. Alright. Just use this clamp again. Just to get it like where this side is. It's kind of, so this mount here, as it looks like this area here is crooked period. I can see it, how it's mounted, even on the bracket itself it's crooked. I'm just looking at it now and I'm noticing that it's mounted in general crooked. So boom. Go. Now it looks to me as if actually this side is jacked. So let me try something. Alright, so if I use the current mounting point where it is now, dang bro, I'm way off. Taking you guys through this journey of janky mechanics. Yo, I swear, man, like, there was mad people talking ish, like, oh, that's whack, or there's no benefit. You can't tell me that jamming air in the engine is not beneficial in some way, form, or fashion. Come on, bro. Anyway, and there's two of them, meaning I'm moving more air than a Cobra Terminator Supercharged. I put one sockethead bolt back here to hold it up, and I removed both of them down here, and then I'm going to check it again off the crank and see which one is more off than the other. And this, oops, this looks like I was to go like that. Yeah, so that's where it's flat on that portion. So it looks like I'm gonna have to get other brackets. I drilled holes where there should be none. And as it looks here, I'm off a whole lot in this particular portion here. Now I could do the same thing on that side that I did with this side and machine out a little bit to have it recess a little bit to sit back. Would bring this back, so if I go back this way and machine out this area, I can at least get this bracket to mount, and then this one up here pretty much screwed on. Alright, let's remove the bracket. I'm going to take out 180 out of here. I prefer to go this way because there's no shim under there. And it's bolted down. And shimming it. Because when I shim it also too, it pushes it back, which I don't want. I want this to be a little further back and this to be forward. Alright, so that's the move. Let's do it. Alright, so that's 150 thou taken out. That was 151, but I'll just see what's up. So I'm going to take this plate off and go test him out. Alright, so I reset up my contraption here. I decided to use the flat space on the top instead and reconfigure the way I did this. But this is my tool. This is what I have. So I'm using the crank that me and Mr. Dudley Toolwright put together. Somebody had mentioned, why don't I double the crank pulley? Go back a few episodes, you'll see that I did that already. And I'm gonna use it just like that. Bam, this is flat, 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 flat. Fixed it. I'm machining out enough to make it to where it's not like that, because literally it was like, this was kicked back for some weird reason. It's because the holes on this side were cocked. They weren't set up right. So let me see if when I add the other bolts here, if it'll stay the way it's supposed to. And then if that's the case, then I might consider getting another one of these brackets and doing this all again, because I kind of had to destroy the original hole that I had, which I'm not too happy about. I had to elongate it. You know, you take the drill and then like, you like elongate the hole. All right, let's check it again off the crank. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Damn. That was giving me the blues, man. I'm like, dang, man, I messed up the whole thing, but I did not. Thank God. So it's a bolt space back here. See it? Right there. It's missing a bolt because I drilled the hole off. It was more that way, so it was crooked. That hole right there is what set everything off. Isn't that crazy? One hole. So everything sideways. So the angle problem is figured out. So let me just see how this looks, just eyeballing it from the side with this. Yes, much better. Oh yeah, much better. Jeez. Man, that was a scare. Because I was like, dang man, I'm gonna have to get everything and redo everything and whatever. So one thing I did notice, I had that one guy who left a comment, and which guys, I love the comments, especially the positive comments that help reinforce this build so I know, you know, what to do and take tips. He was saying that if I put the tensioner in the middle here like I planned, that it's gonna back off as soon as I apply any real pressure. It kind of makes sense what he's saying. Like I get it. So, but the thing is, I noticed that most of the vehicles in the junkyard have the tensioner on the left side of the motor. Even this motor, it's over here, right? I'm assuming that's because the drive is on this side, like where the pressure is coming from is from this side. But here's the thing, these superchargers from the factory had the tensioner on the right side, okay? Because I just pulled a 3.8 supercharged motor to install into a Fiero, and yeah, it's on the right hand side, which I thought you couldn't do because it was supposed to be on the non-drive side. So I don't know. So I'm gonna kind of stick with what I have here. I may regret it later, but there's only one way to find out. So screw it. All right, so now that we got this on there straight. Woo, yay. All right. Tensioner is gonna go here or here. It's gonna go like this. So the thing is, what I don't want is for it to be all the way to the bottom of its travel when I put the belt on. I don't like that. I want it to have a little bit of the spring load. So I was thinking to see if I can get it to be like right here, to where when it like here or something, so when it comes back down, it'll come down to the middle. This is really hard to judge. Like I can't really tell how. I was thinking to just kind of do one anchor point and then like kind of see if maybe I can rotate it this way, right? Just a little bit, so that when I press it and then the belt comes down, I want it to rest in the middle. So I don't want to have all the way, the travel all the way, if you understand what I mean. Because this is the end of it. This is unloaded, you know, the spring is unloaded here. And I don't want it all the way like this, because it has then it has no tension, right? As soon as you gasket or whatever, like the dude was talking about, it'll have a problem. So I don't know. If you're seeing why it's wobbling, it's because I took the bolt out. All right. Another thing too is I gotta figure out a way, because remember when I made this, I drilled 3 holes in the back. So I gotta figure out how to transfer that measurement. Yeah, I was thinking to just drill all the way through and then like use a punch or something. But yeah, that's something that it was good to do, those holes. Or I could just, oh my gosh, what am I talking about? I could measure it. Because the holes in the back are not tapped. So I can measure it and then just drill a slightly bigger hole. Come on, Tone. You should know better than that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drill the holes to hold this on. I already drilled and tapped holes in it, in the block, but I'm only gonna use the center hole and then drill and tap new ones a little further out behind the pulleys. Kind of want, you know, the holding or the clamping force behind the pulleys to keep it in place. So boom, I already marked the center as far as where the crank, center from the crank, so the belt will come straight up. All right, so I got it to work. Just had to open up the hole quite a bit to get it to go. Put the stud all the way in, and actually, what a good thing about having a hole this big is that the base of the stud here goes into the hole. All right, and then this cavity is what'll keep it from flexing, you know, because that's kind of why I wanted that cavity there. And you just take the bolt on the back, I mean the nut, and just put it on, tighten it down, and boom. I got the studs mounted in the back, as you can see. So this is now one piece. All right. All right, so the mounting bracket's back on there. And looking straight, everything's looking good. I checked it one more time with my little makeshift tool. Now what I did notice though, so yeah, there it is. Obviously this belt's a little too long, but it's okay. So there's like an area where I can see where the belt gets mounted. I need some sort of spacer or washer that's 150 thou. So to bring these out, 150 thou, and this will line up, and then we can start working on the tensioner. All right, as you can see, I started kind of fooling with this tensioner here. I've got one bolt here. This is an old head bolt. I wanted to get like thicker bolts, so I actually drilled out the holes. I put thicker bolts because you know, it's gonna be under a lot of stress, and there's not much holding it on other than I'm gonna put something like maybe a sleeve or something under here to kind of hold it in place, because this is how far it should come. Oh, you know what I could use? Check this out. Oh, I forgot. Man, I didn't even think about this. Maybe I can cut it down. Check this out. It's like a bushing from a suspension part. I don't know what this is from. It's nothing from the kits that I have. It looks brand new. And I cut it to size and put it under there. I was just about to, see how I did this half circle here? I was just about to drill another hole, mount it like that, and then put the pulley on and call it a day. See, the problem is with these spring loaded, this is not even hydraulic, this is spring loaded. I took it apart, there's a spring on the inside. Just a big spring. As soon as I gas it, it's gonna want to pull it a little bit that way, right? Which means I'm gonna lose my belt every time I gas it. So I was thinking, rather than using this setup here, this pulley that came from an Explorer, I'm gonna go to the junkyard tomorrow and see if I can find a mechanical style, a mechanical tensioner, and I'll explain what I mean in a sec. All right, guys, that's it for today. I did quite a bit. Got the bracket straightened out, thank God. I got the idler pulleys secure, so they're in there like swimwear, and they're not going nowhere. Them things are locked down. All right, so what I was just saying about the tensioner, right? So there's two types of tensioners that I've seen in my automotive travels, I guess you'd say. There's the spring-loaded ones, which are pretty durable. but they're kind of, they're adjustable, because you know the belts, they stretch after a while, and the spring, since it's got tension on it, it just keeps adjusting, you know, which is good. You know, you put high mileage on it without having to keep adjusting for the belt getting old. When I gas it, the belt's gonna come up this way and turn this way, right? So what it's gonna do is gonna try to loosen the tensioner a little bit. Every time I gas it, it's gonna wanna kind of kick, which I don't want it to do, and that's me using a spring. So what I was thinking is, it's gotta be an idler pulley there. But if I remember correctly, and I'm gonna go to the junkyard tomorrow and go check it out, but if I remember correctly, I think it was a Toyota Corolla or like a Camry, they had like a pulley that was on a bolt, and then when you tighten the bolt, it comes out and tightens like a mechanical tensioner. Now those ones need adjusting a little bit more often, you know, as the belt gets older or whatever, but I think that one would be a better bet for what I have going on here. So yeah, that's it, y'all. So until next time, we out here junkyard dogging. Woo!